Hello, this is Naomi Bennett with Learn Astrology Now, and this is the weekly forecast for September the 19th, 2010. I didn't think there were enough world events last week that were important enough to re-itemize like I have been doing in the past. However, I did think we should talk about some basic principles that are going on, which is we had a Cardinal Climax in July and August that was disappointing to me in the fact that I thought we'd have a major stock market collapse. However, we did have very extreme weather events, massive death and flooding all over the world and fires all over the world. So it did produce definite results, but not in the stock market as we had anticipated and as many other astrologers had as anticipated. But the Saturn opposition to Uranus square Pluto is still in effect. It's a very long-term aspect that lasts several years, and it fades in and out in its intensity, and we have an opportunity this week to see whether or not we're going to have more events regarding this long-term aspect. Now we see it in the political stalemates where the conservative Republicans and the liberal Democrats can't get anywhere, and they're an absolute stalemate. You see that in governments all over the world, or where you vote in ambiguous governments where nothing can be done because it's a fight between the future and the past, and it's a tug of war with open enemies, and there's no solutions, and so they just keep butting heads and fighting with each other, which has given an opportunity for the Tea Party to come in at this point. We also see that the Pope is apologizing for past abuses by priests to children way too late, but at least it's an apology. You're likely to see some more of those in the next week, simply because the aspects emphasize the past and the abuse of children, so we could likely see that. We've had the Venus-Mars conjunction that has lasted for over a month. And I can tell you from personal experience that I've had intense family relationships, negotiating difficulties between two sisters. And I imagine other people have too, where your friends can become your enemies for a while. You have a dispute, you won't talk to each other. And it may be time to kiss and make up. Or when you have a new love relationship and you have an extreme, intense sexual relationship with each other. And that kind of intensity is fading because those two are separating. However, they are in the sign of Scorpio, which is the sign of sex. And so some of that sexual intensity will continue, but not to the degree that it did in July and August. So those are some ideas. Now we're going into the fall equinox. The sun is always an activator of events, and it's re-hitting the points that were important in July and August. So we're likely to see a heating up of events later on this week and later on in the month that's ahead of us. And we'll go into those individually when we go day by day explanation of the weekly chart that comes after this video. So I hope you found that's informative. Oh, also the fall equinox is also with a full moon. Unusual this time, but it increases the intensity of the potential for events that maybe we'll start seeing more of a collapse in the stock market or more bad news events that's going to make it degrade. We thought we'd see a big crash and burn. It may be that we just see a continuous degradation of the stock markets, but it's been in a trading range, and I think it'll be healthy for the bulk of the week. So with this, I hope that gives you some more information. The most important signs that are affected by this are all the cardinal signs, which are Aries and Libra, and then Capricorn and Cancer. Those are the signs that are most affected during this whole period of time. And so those people with planets in those signs should pay close attention, particularly if it's in the early degrees, anywhere near 0 through 6 degrees of the cardinal signs are strongly impacted during this time. Hold on and go for the next weekly update. Hi, I'm Naomi Bennett, your host for LearnAstrologyNow.com, and this is the weekly forecast for September 19th, 2010. This Sunday, the 19th, we find that the sun is at the end of Virgo, but it's opposing Jupiter and Uranus, which bodes for a good stock market for at least the beginning of the week until about Thursday. We should see rising in the stock market. It's also a good time for adventures and speculations that can lead with good results. We also have Mars and Venus still in aspect with each other, but they're separating. They are now 4 degrees apart, but they are in the sign of Scorpio. So that still lends for intense personal relationships with family or loved ones, but it's not nearly as intense as it was in July and August. The moon is in Aquarius, which creates originality and is, of course, the lunar high for all Aquarians. It continues into Aquarius on Monday, but we also have the sun getting even closer to the exact opposition of Jupiter and Uranus. It's only 1 degree apart. But with the moon in late Aquarius, it starts trining the Venus and the Mars, so that's an excellent day for love relationships, with personal relationships, maybe even making up if you've had fights with family members. It'd be a good time to try that. And then on Tuesday, the 21st, we exactly have the sun at opposition to the Jupiter and Uranus. And so if there was ever a day to be positive for the stock market, it would be this day. The moon moves into Pisces, and therefore it is trining that Mars and Venus, so it continues to be a great day for personal relationships and being able to heal any difficulties between family members or lovers. Then on Wednesday, on the 22nd, the sun is in its last day of Virgo, and it's starting to separate from the Jupiter and Uranus. The moon is still in Pisces, and it is very nearing some more difficult aspects. So the best part of the week has been over. It's done. We will start seeing more difficulties. Starting on Thursday is the fall solstice. The sun is in 0 Libra, which is a cardinal sign. It's a much more erratic day because it is also a full moon, and it's starting to apply to Pluto. So expect more negative events or announcements from the Pope regarding children and speculation. The stock market could start falling apart and not be positive after this point because of it emphasizing the cardinal signs, and the long-term difficulties can't be hidden nearly as well. And on Friday, it should continue to degrade because the sun is only 1 degree from the square of Pluto, so it's not a good day for speculation on Thursday or Friday. And the moon continues to be in Aries that day, so I suspect that we're going to start seeing more negative news in the stock market. And then on Saturday the 25th, that Sun square Pluto is exact at 2 degrees, so we could still see extreme weather during this time. There could be announcements of death of elderly people, and there could be negative events regarding children. And the moon is still in Aries, about to move into Taurus. So this emphasizes all of the cardinal signs. The Cancer, the Capricorn, and the Libra and the Aries are all emphasized, particularly if you're born near the early degrees. So this is Naomi Bennett with Learn Astrology Now, signing off.